welcome back to DVR Club, the AV Club's TV recap show. I'm TV editor Erik Adams, and alongside me,
his assistant editor, Becca James.
Thank you for joining me here, Becca, to talk about one of our least favorite and most favorite shows. It's that time of year again. It's time for American Horror Story, the 5th season of which is subtitled Hotel, and the premiere is Checking In. And let's check in with our top storylines off the top of the bat here, which is a whole mess of character introductions. As always, we start things fresh, though we're sort of in the same LA as Murder House, as evidenced by the real estate agent from the first season kind of waltzing through in the middle of the episode. So who's your favorite character so far, Becca?
Well, I do like the detective best because you had mentioned earlier that he's kind of just a regular guy in the same way Mr. Harmon was from the first season, that's like thrown into all these bizarre circumstances.
This season, for the first time in a while, kind of has a perspective character, an audience surrogate a bit in Detective John Lowe, played by Wes Bentley. He grounds things, as does his doctor wife, played by Chloe Sevigny. And by the end of the episode, he's felt the draw of the Hotel Cortez, and he is now a resident alongside such notable HS veterans as Dennis O'Hare playing I'm assuming a trans woman named Liz Taylor. There's Kathy Bates as the front desk woman.
Iris.
Any big surprises for you in these characters? We were talking about Lady Gaga earlier.
So I thought I would watch this and be like, oh, it's Lady Gaga, but I can buy that it's a character. So.
And I think they did her a few favors by kind of limiting her lines in this episode, which I think kind of plays into this sort of vampiric persona that she's playing. She's this crazy kind of impresario over this whole hotel. It seems like it runs on the blood of her victims or some crazy bullshit I'm sure we'll find out about later. Lady Gaga vampire brings us to the next point that I wanted to have in our discussion in a little segment we're calling Pulling Up the Roots, where we're going to discuss some of the very obvious influences on this season. This is a show that always wears its influences on its sleeve. I think one of the most obvious inspirations just kind of spilled across the carpet of the Hotel Cortez. I'm talking, of course, of Stanley Kubrick's The Shining.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was like a very obvious influence, not even just in the hotel title of this season, but that carpeting. It's like they got it as close to The Shining carpeting as they could without completely ripping it off.
Very obvious echoes of the hunger between Lady Gaga and Matt Bomer's character. We're going back to my favorite kind of vampire, which is the 1980s vampire. You saw a little bit of the Lost Boys in this too, right?
Yeah, when they lose Holden, actually, I thought, oh, because he was lost at a carnival, he's now a vampire.
In our next segment, we're going to talk about our Murphiest moments, which are the times in this episode where we could really tell this was a product of Nip Tuck, Glee, and Scream Queen's co-creator, Ryan Murphy. Becca, what's your pick for your Murphiest moment?
For me, Ryan Murphy is always his most obvious when he's ripping off himself. So I'm going to go with when Kathy Bates was tube feeding those women that were at the hotel, because it reminded me of Nip Tuck when Sean's crazy fake agent stuffs the real agent with the filling for a teddy bear.
Yes. I was really worried about where those tubes were going to go. My mental game throughout this entire episode was, where's that object going to go? Which brings me to my Murphiest moment, which is poor junkie Max Greenfield taking it up the butt with some weird, like, drill bit needle dildo, which, like, the sex scenes in this episode go on for a very, very long time. The group sex scene with Lady Gaga and Matt Bomer and the people that they pick up during the Nosferatu screening is actually, like, it doesn't show a whole lot of restraint, but it doesn't do the usual American Horror Story thing where it makes sex look really gross. Like, it's actually kind of sexy.
I agree with that. I think through all the seasons, I've never found any of the sex scenes to, like, look like anything that interests me, but that seemed... besides the ending, seemed relatively normal.
Well, you can check into the Hotel Cortez anytime you'd like, but you can never leave without first going through speculation corner. Becca, I've got a theory about the male leads in this season, and I'm going to bring up a picture on my phone here. At the Television Critics Association press tour this year, FX paneled American Horror Story, of course, and they put these 4 actors very close on stage to one another. So you got Wes Bentley, you got Matt Bomer, you got Cheyenne Jackson, and you got Finn Wittrock, and they all have the same fucking face, right?
Yes, I can't remember the first time I saw all of them together. It might have even been the press material when you flip through the book, but I was like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to tell these guys apart.
My big American Horror Story fan theory for this season is that we're going to find out that these guys are like, there are different sets of twins among them. It's time for you and me to pack up our DVR Club bags for another week. Thanks for watching. Read our review of American Horror Story Hotel at avclub.com and stay tuned for more DVR Club. Bye!
Bye.